Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining us. Got part 3 of the Ninox setup. This one's going to be on the Evolution Rainfly, and let me show you what it all comes with when you buy this Rainfly. Alright, so I'm going to go over what you get whenever you purchase the Rainfly Evolution Rainfly. This here is an aftermarket stuff sack. The original stuff sack it came with it was color coded to match the Rainfly camouflage, and it had ripped. It had a white handprint on it, had their logo. It was very nice, but it didn't last. So I purchased this Sierra Madre Research double-ended stuff sack. These here are the stakes that come with it. They are pretty decent. Now I have lost 2 of them, but I tend to step on my stakes when I put them in the ground. A lot of people tell you shouldn't do that. Well, I do it anyway. And 2 of them have been bent. 4 though is all you need to do the hammock. So I cannot say that this is a downfall to the purchase. They are pretty decent titanium stakes. Comes with these S-beaners here, and they are nice, but to be honest with you, they're a little heavy to use on your Rainfly. It's just more weight to carry. I got the miniature 90s ones, which I'll be showing you in a little bit. And this here is the paracord that it comes with. Now this is the ridge line that it comes with, and it has these weird black tensioners. I do not like these at all. They slip on me. I do not like them, so I do not use them. And I replaced the ridge line with a 90s ridge line, which I'll be showing you as well later on in the video. Alright guys, so breaking down this setup here for you. The tarp itself, alright, is 12 by 10. Okay, weighs 1.65 pounds according to the website. Now I will tell you, that's including everything it comes with. That's including the 4 guy lines, that's including a ridge line, and that's including 2 other small 6-foot length sets of paracord. It's also including 6 S-beaners and a survival bracelet. Okay, now my weight that I took on this, with the modifications that I've made to it, which I'll be going over here shortly, this comes in right over 2 pounds. And I believe that with everything that it initially came with, it was well over 2 pounds. It says on their website it's 1.6 pounds for the tarp alone, and then for everything else it comes in right under 2 pounds. I believe that's inaccurate. Okay, I really do like this Rainfly. It's made out of a 210T polyester. It is 100% waterproof. I've never had it leak on me. Between me and my son, we've used this Rainfly here, I would say at least 10 times in the woods. I would say at least 3 times in the rain, 2 times in a substantial rain. And it has not leaked. It is good. It can be set up in a diamond configuration if you wish. I tried that on my Amok before I bought the Amok Rainfly. And it does work. It's not perfect, but it works. For the price on Amazon that it's on there right now, I believe it's on there for $35.99. It is a really good deal. If you're a beginner and you're looking to get a cheap tarp, or if you've been camping for a while and you're looking for a nice bushcraft tarp, there is nothing wrong with this. It is good quality. And for 35 bucks, the weight especially, you know, for just the tarp at 1.68 pounds, 1.65, whatever in that range there, you can't really beat that for a cheap, inexpensive Rainfly. With the 12 by 10, it does cover. This is an 11-foot hammock. That's what the Ninox is underneath there. Covers it very nice. I don't have any problems with it. With this tarp especially though, I do put the drip lines on my suspension, because as you know, water will run down the tree, hit your line, and go to your hammock. So you have to have a drip line on there. A lot of times the carabiner will act as a brake, but at this, because the carabiners are right at the end of the tarp, I don't like to risk that. So I do put drip lines on this. The stakes that it came with are okay. You can use them. I had 2 break on me out of the 6 that it came with, but the nice thing is I only use 4 stakes whenever I put this out. There is no center pullouts on tarp. On most of the tarps that you buy for hammocks have a center pullout here, or they have 2. This doesn't have any. It does have one down here. What I recommend, if you're not going to get a lot of rain, go ahead and get some sticks or get trekking poles and tie this front up in porch mode. okay, or tied directly to a tree that's out from it in porch mode. Then you'll have more space in there to negotiate. I'll take you in there in a little bit and I'll show you the space that we have and explain to you why it looks like it does with the Minox right now. I'm also going to go over how I tie out the guy line points on the Minox to spread out the fabric and the mesh. So stick around. Alright guys, so whenever I go and I hook the Minox hammock up to any Rainfly I use, the shock cord that is used to pull out the mesh, I'll take the short ones, okay, because you're going to have a short one on this side of the hammock, you're going to have a short one on the opposite side of the hammock, alright? The other end on the opposite side, let me clarify. I'm going to take that, run it over here to the end, and I literally just connect it to my shock cord that goes to the stake, and it pulls this out really nice. That's how I get around using the pullouts without having the whole Minox assembly with their tarp, their under quilt, the winter shield, and all that stuff. So for the long one, this is one of the long shock cords. I got one on the opposite side of the one I just tied on the same side. Don't get confused. So you're gonna have a short side on the front, long side on the back. On the other side of the hammock, you're gonna have the short one on the back and the long one on the front. That allows the pullouts to be pulled out further so you can lay asymmetrically. All right, this is the longer shock cord. What I do is I do the same thing, except when I take it out to the string over here, I don't just connect it. I wrap it a couple times, build tension so that it pulls out like such. You don't want super tension on it. You just want enough, because this will flex. It's shock cord, not paracord. You just want it enough so that it's a little taut. That's all you need. That's all you need. Just little tightness. Trying to do this with one hand for you so I could show you what I'm talking about here when I say wrap this cord around. And then, see, it's not tight. You don't need it tight. Just make sure you have some tension going to it up here, and then there's the result. So the next upgrade that I made to this is I got a different stuff sack for this. This is a double-ended stuff sack from Sierra Madre, and it works very well with this Rainfly. And what it allows me to do is, as you see, this crimps on this end here, right around the ridgeline, so this bag will stay up here. It's not waterproof, but I don't really care. When it gets wet, I just strap it to the outside of my backpack. Then I open this when I take it out. It makes setup a lot easier, a lot quicker. So yeah, I am not one to roll up all of my guy lines for my Rainflies. I just literally shove it all in the bag. I just shove it all in this one. This one's actually a little too big for it. It does give it more room than it needs. You could go with a smaller bag, but I do really like this because it just made the ease setting it up, taking it down a whole lot easier. Highly recommend that. So one of the upgrades I did is I use a smaller S-beaner. These are from 90s, and I use that to connect to the 90s paracord. And this stuff's nice. It's thinner and it's really reflective. So if we come down here, these are the Chill Gorilla stakes. These are the stakes that I bought that I use with this hammock. Oh, upside down. There you go, right there. These guys here. They're your lightweight, typical titanium stake. They've held up very nice for me. I have not had any break on me yet. I like the fact that they have these 3 points at the top that you can tie off to. If you need to adjust a little bit of tension, comes in handy. Highly recommend making this upgrade if you do end up getting this tarp, or if you have an existing cheaper tarp that didn't come with good stakes. These are very nice. So the next modification I made was a big one, and it made my life a whole lot easier. So up here I have the can jams attached to my ridgeline. That's what attaches to the loops in my suspension that go on the hammock. Now, you don't have to attach them there. You could wrap them around the tree, attach it back to the line, because it is basically a carabiner on the end, and use that to tighten. So you could do it attached to your suspension or unattached to your suspension. I prefer it attached. It's just a little easier than going around the tree. It's just your preference. But here, let me bring you a little closer. So you can see the way this works. Basically, the ridge line, which is just paracord, it's the same 90s paracord I showed you a little earlier. goes through the opposite side of this, which is called the can jam. Comes through, comes out right here. There's a hole that goes through it, goes underneath this wheel, which has grips, and all you do to tension it is you pull. And that's it, and it holds the tension really nice. I've never had one come loose on me. And you see the end here, it's basically just your typical carabiner. So when you want to let the tension off, you just literally take your finger, get your nail in there, pull up on it, and the tension will release. I'm not going to do it right now. The tension will release and you'll be able to take it down. So this is inside the Rainfly here. Now, as you see, my head is hitting the ceiling. If I would have the front in porch mode, I wouldn't have that issue. This Rainfly is plenty big enough for a person about my size. I'm about 6'2". If you're about 6'4", 6'5" even, you're still good. You're still good. This will still work for you. Just I would make sure to elevate the front more in a porch mode position or something similar, so that you are able to stand in here. For me, being able to stand under my Rainfly is important. Just makes the experience a little more comfortable. Now, if you look here, you'll see that the hammock is right up against my Rainfly. It isn't that way when I get in it. This hammock, as I said in my earlier videos, it does sag once you get in it, no matter how much you weigh. Big guy, small guy, the fabric's gonna sag. So when you're in this hammock, you got plenty of room between you and the Rainfly, which to me is important because I don't want to be touching a wet Rainfly with my hammock, gear, or anything like that. Another thing I wanted to mention that I did to make the tension better on the ridgeline is I tied, I believe they call this a crescent knot, with a loop here. And I simply just use a 90s carabiner, just like I showed you that I use for my stake lines that come out. And this just goes around the loop. This hammock also has an O-ring here, middle, and I run my main line through that to go to the other side. I use the S-beaner on the pull-out here, and it creates tension via the knot. And once you have that set, it will not come loose unless you want it to. So, very good tip, very good trick. A lot of you guys that are seasoned hammock goers know this. Others that are new, it's good to know. I'm not an expert tying knots. If you guys really want to see a knot video, comment below and I can show you how I do the very few knots that I do. So guys, all in all, I do recommend this Rainfly. It is a great Rainfly. It has treated me well. Rainfly Evolution. I mean, I would go ahead and pull the trigger on it. If you're looking for a cheaper Rainfly, $35.99, you cannot beat that. I think when I bought it, I paid $43. You guys have seen the upgrades that I've done to the hammock. You know, different stuff sack, different guy lines, different stakes. I added on those 90s can jams. You know, that all together was under 20 bucks, right around 20 bucks. I don't know what it is now, but when I purchased it, it was under 20. You know, that made a world of a difference to the usability and the ease of setting this up. It allows me to basically set my hammock up and the Rainfly within 15 minutes. You really can't go wrong there, especially if you're in a situation where you got to get it up fast because it's raining. I do like the colors. It does come 14 different colors, guys. So there's got to be one out there for you. And like, that's about it. I mean, I really do like it. It's worn very well. There is no fading to the tarp. It has no pinholes in it. You know, the reinforced corners with the eye holes and the loops sewn into it for the guy lines to come off. With the paracord to the stakes, everything's held up good. You know, I have no complaints. There's no bad seams, bad sewing. Everything's nice. So if you're looking for one, this is the guy. Please subscribe, like this video. You know, the channel, like I said, it's still growing slowly, but we're going. It's important, crucial. Like and subscribe. I like doing these videos. I like to keep doing them as long as you guys want to see them. Coming up, I do have something different. I have a 2-night hike I'm going on, hike and camp this upcoming weekend. I'll be recording that. I'll have that on the channel, and that'll be next week's video. Video after that, I'm going to start doing some hot tent stuff. I have the One Tigress hammock hot tent that I'm going to use as a regular hot tent. And I have a wood stove that we're going to be trying out in that. So stick around for that. That'll be coming up in a couple weeks there. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for watching.